Alright, since Puppet Master The Littlest Reich is coming out, and I'm hearing so much, like, praise for that movie, like, some of the best praise I've heard of any Puppet Master movie, I decided to go back and watch the Puppet Master franchise. And this is not a franchise that I particularly love. I will watch them, but it's never been something where I've just always have to watch it. Like, it's not a franchise, like a horror franchise, that I love or will watch all the time. Occasionally I will watch them, and I have seen the first 8 a couple times before, so I haven't seen any after the first 8. And I want to review all of them while talking about the ones that I haven't seen, which is like Axis of Evil, and then Axis Rising, and then Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, which I haven't seen either. And then, of course, Littlest Reich, which I think is only getting screened and released pretty recently, so I need to watch all these before I watch that one. But the Puppet Master franchise is an interesting franchise because it's from Charles Band, who does the Full Moon Pictures movies, where all of his movies are pretty much low-budget horror. Like, in really, really low-budget horror. Like, it doesn't, like, I mean, it's what it is. It's supposed to be low-budget, like, fun, silly horror. And I've seen other stuff that Full Moon has done, but I feel like Puppet Master is the thing I've seen the most. And like I said, the franchise I don't love, but I enjoy in some, like, in small spurts. Like, I feel like the movies, and I'm going to go into this whenever I talk about the first one in this video, but I feel like the movies, for the most part, have some really cool ideas and really cool kills, but, like, a lot of it's boring in a lot of ways. For me personally, well, people might think differently, but I think that it's still a fun franchise. It still is fun. It's just not one that I overly love. So, I really think that I don't know, like, I feel like the first Puppet Master movie, people say it's the best one, and I guess I could agree with them on that, but I feel like the first 3, honestly. I don't know, 4 and 5 I enjoy too. I don't know. I enjoyed the first 5 a lot, but anyways, the first Puppet Master, I thought that going into it again, like, it is really interesting in a lot of aspects. I think that the puppets, the designs of the puppets, the kills are really cool, really good, and really interesting. All these puppets, I think, are really great designs. Blade, this guy that looks like a skull, this puppet, and then it's got blades in his eyes, and then it's got a knife for a hand. Like, that's a cool design. And then Leech Woman, this doll that literally pukes up leeches. Like, that's a cool thing. That's a cool idea. And then, like, Jester, who is, I feel like, the only puppet in the franchise that I've seen so far that is just there to look creepy, but he doesn't really do anything bad. But I like that, because you got the kind of good guy on the team, depending on which movie it is, which Puppet Master movie it is, because some of the movies, they're good, and sometimes they're bad. And in the first 3, I think they're pretty bad, or the first 2. But Jester is a really cool design, like 3 parts of his head spinning around to make a creepy image. And then, like, the Tunneler, which is again, an awesome design, because this is a puppet that's got a drill on its head, so it just drills into people. That's really, again, these designs are really cool for these puppets. Like, they work really well, and they're really creepy, and they actually are really memorable in their designs and how they look. And then you got Pinhead, which is the only other one in this movie, who has just these big hands for a puppet, like, that can just grab somebody and throw them like a human. So, but that's all the puppets in this movie, and there's also 2 at the beginning of the movie that I noticed this time that are not in the rest of the movie. I looked it up. I forgot their names already, but they aren't said by name in this movie. But there are 2 puppets at the beginning in 1939. Whenever Andre Toulon commits suicide, there's 2 other puppets, but then whenever it's the present, they never appear. I thought that was interesting, because, like, there's one puppet with, like, a mustache, and then I think there was another one, and they didn't appear after the first scene. So I thought that was interesting, because Andre Toulon locked them up in the Bodega Bay So I don't know why they didn't appear, but maybe they just didn't have the puppets after that scene. So, but but I don't know. And the plot is basically that these psychics go to the Bodega Inn in present day, which is 1989, or is it 88? 88 or 89? I can't remember. I think it's 88, 89, the first movie, but the present day then they go to the Bodega Bay Inn and they're psychics and they have to go and solve, like they're trying to figure out like they're just going in for something, and I kind of blank on it because the story to me is what matters the absolute least in these movies. They really don't matter to me at all. I'm here just to see the kills and to see the designs of the puppets, because the plot in most of these movies are just bare minimum nothing. They're just a group of psychics go to the Bodega Bay, and then the puppets come and kill them. And they're coming for a funeral for this one guy who had already died at the beginning of the movie. And the puppets start killing them off one by one. So it's more fun whenever it's just the puppets going after them. It's not, the plot to me in the Puppet Master movies just is not very interesting at all. Like, I feel like, I know there has to be a plot, but this is one of those horror movies or franchises where like the plot just does nothing for me at all. But yeah, the guy named Neil is dead at the beginning. But oh wait, he's not. Spoiler alert, because he's alive at the end of the movie, and he's the one who used the Puppet Master's magic, like Andre Toulon's method to like bring the puppets back to life and kill off the psychics. Which I didn't understand his plan completely, anyways. But he does that. So it's basically just that, but it's it's only an hour and a half, but it feels really long. And I hate to say that, like, I don't have a short attention span watching movies, but there are some movies that just, like these ones, that I can't pay enough attention to these. Like, they just, they never keep my attention. Whenever the puppets are on screen, yeah, but whenever the plot's there, it's just like, nope, just nothing. Like, literally just sitting there like, okay, whatever, just get to the puppets. And I hate that idea, because I don't like to just watch something for something little like that, but I enjoy the puppets in these movies. But the plot is just nothing. Like, so, like, incredibly boring. The characters are boring. The acting is not the worst, but it's supposed to be like it's a low budget horror movie. Like, so these actors are not like going to be big actors. Even though Thomas Lennon is going to be in the new Puppet Master, which is really funny. But yeah, the plot is basically that, and then by the end, Neil he's the one having these puppets kill him off, but then he's mean to the puppets, so the puppets go against him and kill him. After it's just Alex and Megan left, and it I don't know, it's just okay. The plot's just alright. I did like the idea that these psychics at the beginning of the movie, there were a couple of them which have visions of what's coming in the movie. Like, for example, Alex at the beginning of the movie has a vision of leeches on his stomach, which before you even see before you even see Leech Woman in the movie. So, and then there's another psychic who has the vision of getting her throat slit, even though it's another person, but like Alex, he didn't have the leeches on him either. So these two psychics were seeing the future, seeing scenes that would happen in the movie. And they even used footage from the movie, which was funny. But yeah, I like that idea that the psychics already knew there was something going on whenever they go there. Like, they're having visions of something horrible. But yeah, like I said, the plot is just, I don't know, nothing really special. And then at the very end, it's like, after Neil's gone, Alex and Megan leave, but Megan, apparently for some reason, she had this inanimate dog toy through the whole movie, and then at the end of the movie the dog is alive, so she has apparently learned Andre's method. But then that's never mentioned in any of the sequels, so what's the point of showing Megan that she can use Andre's powers? That's it. There's nothing that goes in the sequels, and I watched the first two Puppet Master movies already, and the second one they do the same thing where the ending it's like you never see what happens after that, like it just ignores it next movie, or next movie in the timeline. So it has an ending where it's like it adds to something that's gonna happen, but then nothing happens in the next movie. Like Megan's never in the other movies. They don't even mention her in the second one. They mention Alex, but I don't know. It's funny that like they do that, and they did that twice with the second one as well. Rewatching that one, so yeah. Basically, what I'm saying about Puppet Master, the first one, is that kills are great, designs are great. The rest of the movie is very, very average. Like the story is just pretty boring with a couple cool ideas. Like I said, the psychics, like seeing these deaths happen before they happen, is cool. But it's just really, I mean, you're there for the kills. Like the story is just really just nothing, and I know it's supposed to be like that. It's like most horror movies that like are there to have you see people get slashed. Like it's just a disposable story with really cool designs. So overall, rewatching the first one, I think it's just totally okay. It's too long for me, even though it's an hour and a half. And again, I feel like I'm acting like I'm ADD because like I can't watch, like I can't pay attention to this movie. But this movie just did not give anything in terms of the plot that I cared for. But like I said, the kills are great, the designs are great, some of the ideas are great with the story, but the story falls really flat. So overall, I did enjoy watching the first one again, rewatching it, but it just, again, it just suffers from being too long for me personally, even though it's an hour and a half. And there are full moon movies that aren't even an hour and a half, like the Ginger Dead Man, which I haven't seen, but I hear that's only an hour. So maybe that'll be more more easier to sit through. But I don't know, like they put so much into this little disposable plot. It's like it made it too long, even though it's an hour and a half, which is a short running time for a movie, anyways. But overall, Puppet Master, the first one, like I said, I enjoyed rewatching, and I thought it was fun for the most part. A lot of boring stuff, but a lot of fun stuff. Cool ideas. Not bad, not great, just pretty average fun.